Hey everyone, Father Jared here, and the Millster. And I just really felt convicted this week to share with you a little bit more deeply on our gospel passages that we've been praying with and hearing proclaimed at Mass the last 2 weekends. So 2 weekends ago we heard the Lord say, do not be anxious or worried about anything. Right? Do not be anxious, do not be worried. Do not grow in your anxiety, which I think is something that a lot of us struggle with. A lot of us struggle with fear, with worry, with, just this overwhelming sense of anxiety about things going on in our life. And a lot of times it's over things we have zero control over, right? That's where the anxiety comes from. Because if we had total control, we wouldn't care, right? It wouldn't bother us, these certain things in our life. But the anxiety comes from the fact that we don't have control. And so I think it's an important thing to realize and to recognize that when we don't already have the control, it shouldn't be that difficult to give the control to the Lord, right? So it should be an easy practice, an easy process, but it's hard for us, But it's something we should continue to challenge ourselves to grow in. In those moments when we're anxious, in those moments when we are worried, in any way troubled, it's important to recognize, I don't have control over this situation. And so I give that control to the Lord, because if I'm not going to have it, it really should be Him, because He's the most capable of having control. And so we surrender that control. Even if in our minds we know that He already has it, it's important for us, by an act of the will, that we make this resolution to give Him control, give Him permission to have control over the things in our life. It's something very life-giving and formative about doing it within ourselves, so it's a good habit to build. But also it's a huge grace giver to us, right? It produces great fruit by surrendering continually to the Lord and allowing Him, giving Him the freedom over our lives. I think there's something, it's powerful and beautiful. And also I just want to remind you of one of those powerful weapons we have against anxiety, which we learned this past Sunday, which is that first directive of the Lord that He gives His disciples before He goes into heaven, before He ascends. He says, wait for the promise of the Holy Spirit. Wait. So if you yourself right now are feeling anxious and worried about anything, feeling troubled, just wait, right? Take a deep breath. Take another one. Take as many as you need, right? And learn to wait. Wait upon the Lord. Don't rush His will. Don't rush Him. But instead, surrender yourself to saying, Lord, in Your way, Your will, and Your time. Your way, Your will, Your time. And I think most importantly, maybe perhaps if we're growing anxious because of a certain sin that we're struggling with, I think it's really important for us to hold on to hope. That's what we heard in the letter to the Hebrews this past Sunday. Hold unwaveringly to hope. And so may the Lord today restore your hope. May He restore your joy. May He restore all those fruits of the Holy Spirit. But especially, may you have the courage to call upon the Lord and to give of yourself to Him so that you can attain that true peace. Yeah, that's my hope for you. That's my prayer for you on this Monday, on this beginning to this week, is that you might experience the Lord's true joy and peace. So hope you're having a great week. I hope you make it a good one, and I hope that you also make good choices. I'll see you this weekend, where we celebrate Pentecost, the power of the Holy Spirit coming upon us. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait to celebrate with you. See you there.